This segment of It's About You was sponsored by the Cleveland Museum of Natural History.
Every February 2nd, you all look to the Groundhog to tell if winter will be long or short. Well, now our own Alexa Lee got to meet one of these animal forecasters and find out more about their abilities. And she fell in love.
We are back at one of my favorite places in all of Northeast Ohio, the Cleveland Museum of Natural History. And we're talking about a very fun event that all of you at home are invited to. I'm joined by Harvey Webster, the Chief Wildlife Officer here. Quite a title.
For a wild time, I encourage you to come on down here to the museum, yes.
And you've been here for 45 years.
I have indeed, yeah, it's a wonderful place.
Oh, it is.
There are so many things to learn, so many things to discover. It's just a great place to explore, particularly on this date coming up.
Tell us all about it.
Okay, so February 8th is our Groundhog Fun Day celebration. We're also celebrating the museum's Giving Day, encouraging folks to come out and support the institution. Let's go back to this Fun Day thing.
Yes.
Turns out that February 2nd is Groundhog Day. I mean, there aren't too many days in the calendar that are actually dedicated to an animal.
Right, it's a big deal.
Yeah, and a groundhog is a fabulous animal. It's a rodent, it lives underground part of the year, it can hibernate for much of the winter, and legend has it that on the 2nd of February, it rouses from its winter slumber, pokes its nose out, looks around. If it sees its shadow, it thinks, 6 more weeks of winter, and goes back down. If it doesn't, it means spring is right around the corner. What they don't tell you, of course, is that spring is 6 weeks off regardless, because that's where the calendar is.
Okay.
The 2nd is midway between the start of winter and the start of spring. But it's a wonderful folk tale, and it celebrates a really curious animal that we have in Ohio. So we'll have all sorts of crafts and activities. People can explore like groundhogs. They can make crafts that feature groundhogs. They can have things that pop up out of the ground like a groundhog, themselves included, plus the fact they'll have the opportunity to see Thistle, the museum's one and only groundhog slash woodchuck slash whistlepig, which are all names for the same animal.
So this is really exciting, and we're going to see Thistle here in just a moment. But why did you choose to really highlight this animal and make a whole day event about her?
It's an interesting intersection between natural history and the actual nature of this region and the wildlife of this region and human culture. And you know, the curious things that we people celebrate, you know, I mean, just take a look at your internet feeds of, you know, all of the cat pictures.
Oh, sure.
I mean, there are folks out there. So it's a natural opportunity, number one, to have fun with that, but then also recognize that this is a common northeastern Ohio animal. And in the non-hibernating part of the year, they can be seen along interstate roadsides. You can see them all over the place. And they have a fascinating natural history behind them that we'll be hearing about from Steve. So we think this is a wonderful opportunity to bring people into that discussion of nature and then cue them into the other things that we might be looking for that are the early harbingers of spring.
Well, Harvey, thank you so much for sharing
Hey,
your
my pleasure.
love for nature and wildlife with us. And we're going to go meet Thistle. Come on. And here we are with Steve Gibson, the wildlife specialist. And who's your friend?
This is Thistle the whistlepig.
Oh my gosh, she is so precious. Now, she lives here at the museum.
She does, yes.
Tell us how she was brought in.
So she was actually observed as a little tiny baby being removed from her den by her mother because, believe it or not, this used to be the runt of the group.
And she is no longer a runt. We're making that clear.
Mm-hmm. And so a lot of times the mothers will remove the runt or the sick one if they have a healthy litter so they can concentrate on the rest of the healthy babies.
Okay, so she's here and she's healthy, living her best life.
Yes.
Now she's going to be here for Groundhog Fun Day.
She is. She's going to make a special appearance to see if we can see that shadow or not.
And groundhogs now, we're in winter. I'm thinking, do they hibernate?
They do hibernate. Normally you would not be seeing a groundhog around this time of
Right.
year. Usually when the weather starts getting cold around October, November, you know, depending on the crazy winter we've had, they will go underground below freezing level, around about 5 feet, and they will cool their body temperature down. They will slow their heart rate from 160 beats per minute down to 4 to 5 beats per minute.
Wow.
And they will just go to sleep, and they will be in this hibernative state until the warm up.
Now, I love the Museum of Natural History. Like, I'm a huge fan. And I think a lot of people maybe don't know that you have a lot of wild animals here that people can come and learn all about.
We do. We have plenty of animals that we like to use for education. And we have an entire Perkins Wildlife Center that is full of all native Ohio animals that you can get up close and see. It's pretty cool.
It really is. Okay. All right, Steve, thank you so much. Thistle, oh, I know you want to jump into my arms, but I'm not allowed to touch you. I love you so much. All of the information is up on your screen. This is going to be such a fun time, and there's so much to explore here other than the Groundhog Day, so come on down and make it a whole day. Thank you so much, Steve. Thanks, Thistle.